wanted to make a video talking about something which is a topic I've been running into a lot, which is that kind of run into this thing where when you feel that you're doing things good, you're actually not, and you should be worried when like, oh, everything is like chill and you feel like you're doing things well, you're making progress, and it's when you're tripping out and you feel like you're not doing things the best that a lot of the time you are doing things right or doing things well. The things to be worried about are things that feel really good, like without much work, but anything that feels hard or difficult, or there's some process before you get a reward, like you have to put in work, you have to put in thought, you have to put in kind of intellectual work, or just sweat equity, put in like labor of some kind. Those are things that the results are subtle at first, but they're worth it, and they're earned, and they're not easy to come by. And those are things that feel like shit, they feel like struggle, they feel like hardship, they don't feel good. But the things that do feel good are the ones you want to beware. The things that you don't worry about, that you feel really good, you want to beware of those things. And the things that you are worrying about, they might be good. The things that feel like struggle or challenge or hardship, they might pay dividends. They might be good things. Yeah, my brain's not working too well. There's reasons behind it, but like some examples are like, fast food. Like, it's quick and it's easy, it feels good, so a lot of guys, they use it and they dirty bulk. But in fact, you can make better gains clean bulking with like nutrition, but that takes time. You have to cook your food, you have to buy food, you have to prep it, you have to learn to cook, you have to learn different recipes, you have to plan it out, you have to weigh your food. Some guys do that, and go about all this process to prepare this thing, and it feels like so much work. It feels like, oh well, like I can make better gains. It looks like faster results, better results, like you put on more mass, it looks like, and more size and more strength right away. You're getting all these quick results from the dirty bulk. You stronger instantly, bigger instantly, more mass instantly, more size instantly, and you buy fast food, takes a few seconds, and you eat it, it's quick, you get the calories, and you think this is like genius, like I'm saving all this time in my day. But all the negatives are all subtle and you don't see them. And that's kind of the point, is that you get the quick thing, the easy thing, and it's like feels really good, but that thing that feels really good is the thing that you like have to be aware of, because all the side effects, all the negatives of it are very subtle. They're there, but you don't see them, you don't notice them, and over time it fucks you over. And just because it's little bit by little bit, it's not like a stark transition from one day you're great and the next day you're horrible, but it's like a dimmer switch, like gently, 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 you're kind of throwing your health into the gutter, and you're doing it very gradually, so you don't see that subtle shift, that subtle change from where you were before to where you are in the present. And that's how fast food kind of fucks you over. But anything where it's like a quick result or a quick gain like that, it's kind of always like that comes at that price. Anything that feels really good, maybe it's not so good. Anything that you're worried about, there might be something there. You know what's another good example? I guess like porn is a good example. Like guys that jerk off to it and stuff, if you try and do it to your imagination instead, it's a lot harder, takes a lot longer, doesn't feel as good after, but you keep your mind healthier, you keep your masculinity, you keep that edge that most guys lose because they're jerking off to porn all the time. anything, yeah, I guess just that virtue keeps repeating itself and you always see it, that anything that's like quick and easy is something to be beware, like something to beware of, you know. Anytime you see that um like, oh, I could do this fast, easy, and like, oh, it sounds like a great idea and you're super excited, and like looks like something where you have to put in very little work and you get like this huge return, it's always kind of bullshit. And things that look great on the surface aren't, but things that you're like, I don't think it could work, or like it's risky, there's some dangers, there's some like risk, like it could pay off but it would be a lot of work, it would be really difficult, and you're uncertain and you have all these doubts, and you're like all these things that can go wrong. And there's I think too an element I see, like there's always a element of you can kind of lose things if you do it, you know. There's like a risk to it. It doesn't feel like you're gonna just get huge returns like instantly or very quickly. It feels like there's like a risk that like everything you've built, like you might like lose it, you know. Feels like that. For example, my fast food example, that when you go from fast food to clean food, all of a sudden you have this risk that like, oh, like fuck, like I'm like not as strong all of a sudden, and like I'm like getting weaker, I'm getting skinnier, and there's like that transition period where your body's adjusting to not getting all the empty calories, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And your body's adjusting, and for a while it feels like maybe you're losing things and it's like a big risk and stuff, but you ride it through and it pays off. And just by putting through, like toughing it out through that pain and through that uncertain period and that tough time, you get the results at the end of the tunnel that most people don't. Most people never will, because they don't, because it's counterintuitive to begin with, because it's counterintuitive to do the thing that like is uncomfortable and that has struggle and stuff attached to it, because human nature is to kind of proceed towards comfort and to kind of bask in it and stuff. But so like most people won't have it because it's counterintuitive, or because if they start they don't see it through to the end, you know. A good example is like a 20 rep set of squats. Like most people would give up and it feels like shit, it feels like death the whole way, but when you get done, when you're at the other end, it feels pretty damn good. Like you're done and you get the virtues and the gains and whatever else, like the gems and the jewels and the riches at the end of the tunnel, you know, at the end of it all, that most people will never see. And after, they might condemn you or say that you got lucky, or just kind of not want to acknowledge you and stuff. Like the guys at the gym that see someone like lift something heavy and they gotta look away to save their own ego or something, you know. It will actually be few guys that go and like compliment you, or that just say like respect, and or get something positive out of someone being better than them, which is funny. But I mean, or it is what it is, but that might be a reason why, that people want those results. People want those results at the end of the tunnel. You know, everyone's trying to put in work and do something to get there, but the truth is that it's in the counterintuitive stuff, it's in the struggle stuff, the not easy stuff, where you get something at the other end. Yeah, I think it's just putting that in, and that it's a virtue and a pattern I keep repeating, like I just keep seeing, and maybe you'll see, or I'll keep seeing in many other fields too, or in other disciplines and areas of my life, or of like future work and stuff. So yeah.